Manjula, why does a premium car shutting sound a little more luxurious?
Well, in the ever evolving automotive industry, the demand for premium sound quality and noise management is paramount. So, it's very important to have the acoustic parameters in every luxury car to improvise the customer's experience, driving experience, especially. Yeah.
Okay. Acoustics, people used to think was only for stage and for theater, but you're seeing a change. What is the reason?
The reason behind it is the traditional internal combustion engine ICE is now replacing with electrification of cars, which is actually shifting the acoustics parameters for vehicle developments. I need to have I need to tell about background. Our company, Head Acoustics, is one of the world's leading companies who offers holistic sound and vibration analysis solutions ever since 1986. Our range of technologies and tools offer sound engineering and optimizing the technical products in the fields of industry and investigating environmental noises and speech quality engineering, consulting, training, and after sales support worldwide. And also, Head Acoustics is very carefully tailor made solutions for every challenge. Head Acoustics is expertise in automotive acoustics, which allow us to offer sound and noises management in vehicle development.
Welcome. Today,
Thank you.
we're talking to an expert in the field of acoustics. The field of acoustics is concerned with the study of sound, encompassing its production, transmission effects, and perception. It involves understanding mechanical waves or sound waves in solids, liquids, and gases, as well as phenomena. Now, this is the academic description, but we're going to understand what it takes to implement this and understand this in automobiles. So, our guest today is Manjula Srinivas, the Managing Director of Head Acoustics India Private Limited. And we're going to be speaking to her about the company's expertise in automotive acoustics, which enables it to address the complexities of vehicle sounds by using advanced sound and vibration analysis to evaluate and optimize acoustic performance. So, this has become an essential element of development, and we'll understand how customized sound profiles are created and what the career opportunities are. My name is Venugopal. I head Ideascape Communications, and we are into branding, creative, and design. Every week, we talk to people about their career journeys, which are full of twists, turns, and insights. And today, I'm sure we'll get to know about another really interesting career. So let me welcome Manjula to the show. Hi,
Thank
Manjula.
you very much,
Great
Mr.
to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So, where did your career begin? What was it that you started off with and childhood?
My education and my journey started from a very small town in Andhra Pradesh. I came from a place called Srikakulam. which is
Okay.
supposed to be not so developed district of Andhra Pradesh, undivided. Now it's Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, but those days it was United Andhra Pradesh, and it was the corner district which is close to Orissa, and it has a specific slang which is actually even it is used in movies to make fun of it. My father worked in government as a revenue officer, so we have moved different places in the district, and finally my father thought, we should have a stable education. So my education is, I can say it's not so flamboyant, but we are from a very ordinary school. But fortunately, I have a very good teachers in terms of either it's maths or science or in my own language, Telugu. And of course, grasping quickly, and so I'm intelligent. I can say those days I'm an intellectual girl in my school, and I was top 3 to 4 always. And yeah, I did good in my 10th standard. So those days it's 10th and you have intermediate. After 10th standard, I went to a polytechnic, and then after finishing that, I graduated from Usmania University in Hyderabad. I've done my post graduation in masters in management, business management, specialized in marketing, and I have graduation in economics and law. So I have a very weird and varied skill set and education background. In those days, the business management is combined with personal management, like it's a master's in business and personal management. That's now worded it as HR management, but I'm talking about 91. And after that, I've got early marriage and I moved to Chennai. If you can ask me, my actual career started in Chennai. So I love Chennai, and I've seen my career progress in Chennai. My first office is a very small company, but I have worked as a, you can call it as a departmental executive, or you can call it as a marketing executive or a secretary, departmental secretary. But I started where at the base level, and but it has given me a great opportunity to learn how marketing budgets are planned, how the planning is executed, programs are executed, and it was good opportunity for me to interact with ad agencies like Lintas and all that. So leading ad agencies. So I had pretty much experience gained in that organization on print media, electronic media, and how the budgets are planned for that, how the timings are defined for the launches, new launches. So it's a very good experience I gained, because that was my first office and first job. So I really enjoyed, and I had a very good mentor, immediate boss. I learned a lot from him. His name is Daniels, and he taught me how to make presentation. Then we don't have Microsoft. We used to work on DOS based computer system, and then it was a fun, and it was a big team. I had enjoyed. I worked there for about 3 years. The same gentleman actually he recommended me to a multinational company. If you remember, in mid 90s, the lot of multinational started their operations in India. I joined a German company, working very closely with managing director, a German. I joined an executive assistant to him. It's a startup company. So myself and the managing director then, we started our operations in Taj in a suite. Like there's no office. Two of us started the office, and I was working with him very closely, like applying for licenses, looking for office, looking for interiors, everything A to Z, because he was German and he didn't know much about Chennai and much about the local language and all that. So I was actually working very closely with him to start setting up an office, interacting with different placement agencies, different travel agencies, because it was a big team of engineers who has to come from Germany and on project base and all that. So I was interacting with him. And since it's a startup company, I have a very good experience on how to start from zero. And it was about 500,000 crores. So that kind of a project, how the money is moved, the cash flow is moved with different departments, and all that planning is done. So I had opportunity to work with him, how he's taking important decisions, how he's interacting with the team, how his problems are resolved. Because those days, even the foreign companies have a lot of issues with the government's regulations and all that. So, with
At that point,
auditors,
just to interrupt you, just at that point, you had no prior experience in doing all this, but you
no,
learned and you delivered.
yes,
Literally,
because
it's amazing how you gave somebody who came in the confidence that you would be able to handle it and then actually executed on that, right?
yeah, in the process I also learned a lot. As I said, in the previous Indian company where I was one among very early employees, so I had the opportunity to see how company grows with the sales improvement or projects we are taking. So with that experience, I moved in here, and this is completely a different environment because this is a multinational company, and language, because all were Germans coming here. They're not aware of the local language. I had to interact with them, arranging their expatriate benefits, like whatever the perks which company is giving. So it was a huge task. I had a team, but then the boss was very had confidence in me. He's given me free hand to work, and that's how I worked. And I was there for about 3 years, and then I got this opportunity of a company called Instrong. Yet again, this is a startup company. For this company, along
You
with
literally moved from startup to startup to scale.
everything startup. Yes, everything startup.
Okay, okay,
So for
okay.
this company, Instron, we started from Savira. Like, we used to sit in the lobby and write the terms and conditions. Again, look for an office. So my experience helped how to find an office, how to find the auditors, like their background, and which auditors are suitable for this organization. Travel, everything from printing business cards to the printing terms and conditions, brochures, everything. Those days, not so digitalized. Even for the sales,
Yeah.
we used to give printed brochures. So printing them here and getting the soft copies from overseas company because it's cheaper to print here. So all that again, startup. So then I worked very closely with the country manager, who was Mr. B.N. Vijay Kumar. He was a great mentor for me, and he actually taught me my career. Made a shift completely to sales in 2001. Like, from 93 to 2001, I was, setting up offices and kind of a back office, or, inside sales or something like that. But, moving to a company called Instron, it's a US based company, and it's a material testing company. That's where I entered in testing and measurement industry. So, with the help of my mentor, my boss, I moved to sales. Though the position was not so interesting as a sales coordinator. Initially, I had started it as a sales coordinator with the background of import and export. By then, I was very clear on import, export rules, regulations, taxes, import duties, documentation, everything. I was gained experience in the previous company. Then I have started working with him, and like in sales, internal sales, uh, part of commercial documentation, seeing how the commercial contracts or big contracts, tenders, high value tenders, how what is the requirement of government regulations, and what is the private industry requirement for the sales. So I was part of many of the sales activities, and that's in 2001. But when they see my capability and taking the additional work for me, and I've never neglected or ignored any opportunity. It just passes through. I used to pick up, I used to
Right.
ask for additional work. I used to, in fact, I can say that every opportunity which has come, I picked up. And in fact, I used to ask whenever there is any training program. So I was so enthusiastic, and I was very much interested to learn about the products or anything, present product presentation, technical documentation of those products, anything, everything I learned there, and I was part of the many trainings.
Even
And
though you didn't have an engineering background
I
or
can say
law.
that I have a law. I have
Yeah.
like I have an economics
Okay.
graduation, but in Instron, what I was trained as an engineer, like they see my capabilities and interest, and all through
Okay.
22 years of my experience in Strong, I have attended several technical trainings, and I was able to sell the technical product in the market. So something like that. It was thanks to that company, thanks to Instron. I have been attending technical trainings from 2001 onwards. It is the technical trainings always happens in the overseas. Then the manufacturing unit was in UK, a place called Havicum. So I used to travel. I was any training scheduled. I wanted to be part of it, and I got the opportunity to be trained. So that's
Okay.
how I
Okay.
have learned a lot about technical aspects of the engineering products and testing and measurement industry. And so
Okay. Great. So
that
I'll just do that summary and then come back to you. So I'm speaking to Manjula, and she's the head acoustics, 100% Indian subsidiary of the German company. And I think it was quite clear that her drive is what got her to wherever she is today, starting off from a small place in Andhra and then getting through economics and law. She finally found herself in communication, in advertising with a small company, and then moved on to another company, which was again into a startup phase for about 3 years, where she helped the person come in and set up the entire company and understood everything that was required to move it forward. It's a very large company today. And then she spent 20 years at Instron, which uh, at ITW and in the Instron division. And what I can see is that she has never let an opportunity pass. She has moved forward with every training, as she said. She was the most enthusiastic one to ensure that she learned more, she delivered on as far as the company's expectations were concerned. And that is really the foundation of what she has built into where she is today. Next, we'll get into automotive acoustics, which is where she is the managing director and what her stint there has been. So, Manshura, how did the move to uh, the managing director of Head Acoustics come about?
Yeah, sure. Let me one step backwards. So
Okay.
when I was with Instron for 22 years, I moved from sales coordinator. Within 3 years, I became manager, senior manager, national manager, and from 2011, I was handling. One product business manager for Asia ex China. Like in
Okay.
Instron, there is the sales territories are distributed differently, and Asia, whole of Asia is one region. So I was handling for
Okay.
accessories product as a business manager for all these countries, in Asia, including Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea, Australia, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and India. And I was also handling one for as a service head for one of the division of ITW for that as a service head. So I was having multiple responsibilities. In this 22 years, I have moved up the ladder and responsible for P&L and exposure to business in other countries. Actually, given the opportunity to be a part of Head Acoustics. I'll tell you how the journey in Head Acoustics has started. It is sometime in 2021 after the Corona. I've seen one position in Naukri. Then they were looking for a managing director. And what attracted me is they wanted a person from test and measurement industry. Since I've been in test and measurement industry for 22 years, then I thought I'd apply.
Okay.
But the position was intended for Pune because it's a automotive industry, and automotive hubs are like Chennai and Pune. But for some reason, because for setting up the company, the auditors were based in Pune, so they have chosen Pune to set up a head acoustics office in Pune. So when I started in 2021 and interacting with several interviews with different management, I was told by the placement agencies that there are several people applied, there are several people attending interviews. The entire process took almost 5 to 6 months because the first I signed NDA with Head Acoustics for this position. I applied in sometime in July, but I've joined in February. So it took almost 7 to 8 months, the process of different levels of interviews. Then I went to sometime in November end or early December to Germany for the final interview. And because we had to wait to travel to Germany, because that time we had to have the second shot, second
Oh,
COVID
yeah.
shot to
Right.
travel
Right.
abroad, and so
Right.
we were waiting for that, and I traveled, and I expected that my other competitors who was shortlisted also will be there in the Germany, but fortunately I was told that none of them have taken the uh, you know courage to travel in the Delta variant of Corona.
Right.
See,
This is
that
a very
was,
tough phase.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
tough phase, and many people were,
Yeah.
having affected with Corona and loss of lives and all that. But I traveled, it went
I'm
through.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious about why they looked at testing as one of the foundation, in terms of the person that they wanted. Why did they want a background in testing as opposed to or setting up business? What were the considerations there?
Probably, I suppose head acoustics is also comes under the testing and measurement industry. Of course, in testing and measurement, different testings are there, but the experience what I had is in material testing, which is actually physical testing. But
Okay. Okay.
here it is noise and vibration and speech quality and all that. But yeah, all this comes under test and measurement industries. Maybe that could be the
Yeah.
reason
So
that
can
they
you
wanted
give
to
us
ask.
a background of how the field of automotive acoustics, what does it encompass? What are the kind of things that people who want to get into this need to look for?
In this industry, the basic requirement is engineering, and electronics
Okay.
engineering is very important. And also, most of the electronics engineers, or the any other engineering background go through NVH, noise, vibration, harshness. Those are the divisions in automotive industry will have opportunities into. And automotive acoustics also have another openings are is sound and speech quality. So any engineer who's got inclination towards sound and perception, interest towards making the sound profiles will have a great opportunity.
So, in terms of this, is a question that most people, young people, want to know. So, what are starting salaries like? What is it that people can hope to get when they join? Because that's one of the things that comes up very strongly.
I may not be able to answer this question straight
Not
away,
the exact figure,
but
but at least the range of whatever that
see,
people tend to.
I may not be able to probably exactly answer because the NVH engineers are more required in OEMs. Okay,
Okay.
we are we are the suppliers to OEMs. So
Okay.
the automotive engineers or the NVH engineers are more relevant to join in the OEMs and tier one, tier two of OEMs. And we are the suppliers to the OEMs and also tier one, tier two industry. So I can tell you with experience of 5 to 10 years testing of applications in software, which is required for voice and speech quality, and they have very high salaries because they are appointed by Google, Qualcomm, and we have a short of those engineers. I often hear from these big companies saying that they are not getting enough manpower because
Yeah.
the demand is very high here in India.
And does it help to sort of do a supplementary course in sound engineering after doing electronic engineering? Does that help,
Yes,
or do you
yes,
prefer
yes.
to take students straight away from engineering and then give them training?
Either way possible. Basically, they need electronics engineering and get some certification in sound engineering, and will added an advantage
Okay.
for this.
So when they start their jobs off, what are the initial requirements? What are they started off on? And what are the functions that they have to go through? Can you probably give me about 3 or 4 career tracks as to how you're looking at somebody in this particular space, and what do they do, and what are the functions that they have to sort of perform?
See, the electronics engineers who's into NVH divisions of OEMs will have their own projects. In a vehicle, there are different projects, and they have to part of that. Every OEM will have a different requirements. But in terms
Right.
of head acoustics, we look at the basic electronics engineering. However, when I'm developing, I have developed the team here. I see an attitude for learning because they'll be given sufficient training and tools to learn. When I have looked at the team development here, I've looked at the basic engineering plus attitude for learning, continuous learning.
Okay.
That's what my requirement is here in
Okay.
Acoustic.
This seems to be one of the things that people have to understand, that it is not just a department that you join. A whole lot of this is dependent on your own enthusiasm, your own interest, which is exactly how you have got to this phase. I was thinking of, trying to understand how you got into head acoustics in India. And I think the moment you described your life story and what you had gone through, it was very evident that these were the qualities that they were looking for, because you had this experience of setting up things, you had this experience of interacting with multinationals, you had the experience of building a huge network, you were acquainted with sales, which means you didn't confine yourself to any one particular uh, subject or field, and you were perfectly prepared to take in any challenges that came your way. So I've not even felt the need to ask you that question, because I think you've answered it in the previous questions. Yeah. No, please tell me.
No, I just wanted to tell you again. This headache acoustics is the first one to join in 2022 April when there is nothing. So I started working from home, and the first 3 months I looked for the office and set up this beautiful office, and I started recruiting team for myself. And by July, like I joined in April, by July we are on board. It's
Well,
just taken 3 months to setting up the office and do it.
yeah. And I suppose since you've done this twice in the past, it just became, you know
Yeah.
exactly what you need to follow.
I have an interesting thing to mention here. As I
Right?
said, this position is meant for Pune, okay? But I was ready to, mentally, I was ready to move to Pune from Chennai. But I went with a 3 pages presentation to Germany to convince them why Chennai is better than Pune. So I made a presentation
Okay.
and went during the interview with some of the management, and I explained why Chennai is better than Pune. So they got convinced, and I got the opportunity to set up the office in Chennai instead of Pune.
That must have been quite a persuasive pitch. So you must have had facts, figures,
Yes, everything like
markets,
how many
everything.
OEMs, their ancillaries, how many, the white goods manufacturing, colleges, R&D centers. I mean, not only Chennai, Bangalore is closer to Chennai, and all OEMs R&Ds are based in because it's like software hub. So it's in Bangalore. So Chennai to travel to Bangalore is just 4 to 5 hours by flight is just one. I've just given all the facts, and you know why it is best to have an office in Chennai. So I was succeeded. so so
That's
I
a very
moved with the idea
interesting
of everything.
approach. Yeah, because it's not about, like you yourself said, you were prepared to move, but you wanted to make the
Yes.
case for Chennai because you felt the company would do far better, or it had a much better pole position. If you were,
I've also mentioned in my presentation, if you choose me as managing director of this position, I have full contacts, complete contacts in Chennai rather than Pune. So if I'm selected for this position, my choice will be Chennai because I have a vast experience of two organizations from the startup. I can do it effortlessly, and I've shown that. I've joined in April. By July, the full setup of office is completed, and we have inaugurated. You can see in LinkedIn also, we have done that home in office, and I've posted by July. So
Wow.
in 3 months, I've done everything.
Okay.
By
How
December, we have
important
imported them. Yeah,
how important do you think it is to build a network? Because to some people it comes easily. And from what you have told me so far, instinctively you built a network of associates, competencies, suppliers, and understanding. Whereas a whole lot of people tend to think of their job as being more efficient and understanding more about what their role is, which is very confining. But
okay.
somehow I think you had this whole thing of seeing that this is what it would lead to. So, are you instinctively a person who makes friends easily or who understands the overall big picture easily? Or was this part of the mentors who helped you understand?
I can see the mentors. I'm very lucky to have good managers and mentors or bosses, whoever you can say. I can say mentors. As I said, I worked with the country manager in Instron until 2009. Then I started reporting to the Singapore president, Mr. Casey Go. He was. He was so good in management, and he's got his special techniques to manage the business. So I working with him very closely. I learned his management style and how he pays attention to the minute details in every sales process or in every aspect of the operational traits. And of course, I have also got the opportunity with working with another manager or a boss, I can say, Mr. Vishnu. Everybody has their own traits and some mentors, some demands. Some will allow you to do, like some will say you do whatever you want. I have full faith on you, so you run your business. So in every way, every management style has its own benefit of it. Somebody will push you, somebody will leave to your own steering. And I very happy to mention that I have an extensive training in sales. Like Spin is a high performance selling skills training by Hathwaite in UK. This training, this is a very expensive and intense sales process training, which I got the opportunity to have it in 2001 itself, because I was indulging, I was inducing into the sales team. The management thought, then the boss thought, okay, I should have this training. Then I have several other trainings like challenger sales, like how to take control of customer communication. So when customer saying something and you take the control of customer communication, and you can convert their conversation around your product and your company. So how to do that? So challenger sales. It is an organization in Singapore. There is a key account management training, uh, and I've been part of ITW Women Network program, which is actually in ITW there are several chapters. I just give you a brief about it. Like that company develops women managers. If you're already manager, they'll move to the senior managers. If you're already a senior manager, how you can move to the up in the ladder boardrooms,
Next level.
how you can next level. And there are
Right.
some programs for Asians will have a different challenges than Europeans, than Americans like that.
Right.
And the young engineers program, you can recruit young women engineers, but retaining them is very difficult after they get married and they leave the job. So there are several programs, but I'm part of how to move from senior manager to the managing director. So hopefully that helped. So today I'm here in the boardroom. So I feel that helped me a lot. And also I have been, like I got the opportunity to be part of executive program, like women executive program to the higher level, how to the directors level. It was conducted. It was a training program of Singapore Management University. So
Okay.
these are all I've got advantage. I don't say that
Absolutely.
advantages. I've taken the opportunities. I've demanded the,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
all that. Yeah,
Great. Let me just make the announcements and come back. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm speaking to Manjula Srinivas, and in the previous segment, she spoke of her journey in on the job and how she specialized in sales first because she proved herself, and then she was encouraged to take on a pretty intensive sales course, which has helped her right from 2001. And I think proof of that is when she managed to convince her current company to relocate to Chennai instead of Pune, where they had originally intended. And this was purely factual. Like she made the case for Chennai, and she made it very clear that she had a network. So, in terms of building networks, in terms of understanding people, in terms of understanding the market, I think the point is that she proved what is possible, what she would deliver, and then she finally executed on that. In the final segment, we are going to be talking to what does acoustic engineering, what does the field involve? How is it growing? What is the potential? How is it that you can look at this as a career? So if you've liked what you've heard so far, please share, subscribe, and spread the word to your friends. And let's go ahead and talk to Manjula. So, acoustic, automotive in acoustics. What does it involve?
yeah. I can say that whatever head acoustics, how automotive acoustics
Yeah.
is. Head acoustics expertise in automotive acoustics actually allows and address the complexities in sound and optimizing the noise management in the vehicle development. With the rise in the electric mobility, active sound is design has become a very key element. I'm really sorry. I think there is a construction happening.
Some,
I'm really sorry about it.
yeah.
So
No, please go ahead. I think we
yeah,
also understand.
this is again a noise management.
So these are the unintended special effects in the show.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, with the rise in the electric mobility, active sound design has become a very crucial element in vehicle development. Uh, the innovative approaches allow the manufacturers or OEMs, car manufacturers, to create tailor-made acoustic sound profiles to enhance the driving experience, uh,
So
adhering to
let me
the
ask
government
you two
regulations.
specific questions. One is the sound. There is this point when, let's say, you're driving and you have not removed the handbrake. That is, you have not let the handbrake down and you've pressed the accelerator. So there's a warning sign which appears, and then there's a sound which tells you that you're doing something wrong. Versus the point of opening a car. You normally have a single click for uh, opening and a double click, whatever. How are these conventions? What is it that is looked at when you design for these specific functions? If you can tell us the overall thing for, with an example of, let's say, one particular project as to how you would approach it and what are the things that need to get done.
Okay. Uh, Maybe I will not be able to give exactly the company names and all
Yeah,
that, but we
specifics are
do
not
have,
necessary. I
yeah,
just an overall
yeah.
understanding. Yes.
So we do have done several projects in Asia, Japan, and Europe. In Americas, something like door slam. You open the door and close it. So when you open the door and close it, every manufacturer will require a different signature sound or something like in two wheeler industry. Bullet, those days Bullet, and now the Royal Enfield
Yes.
have different sound.
Yes.
They Some people like it, some people wanted that specific sound. They'll go for that brand. Something like that in automotive industry also. You have in the entire car development, you can have your own signature sound for door closing, dashboard opening, or anything you wanted in automotive vehicle development. We do have tools for that, and Head Acoustics has specific and very experienced sound engineers, or design vehicle. It's called active sound design engineers. They have multiple skills. Something like they are engineers, and they're also experts in music. They have certifications in music. So someone wants um, the specific sound to be very musical. We have engineers to develop that. In some of the projects in Asia, especially in China, when the electric cars are there, they need a specific sound, when a specific a musical sound when raising the accelerator. Also, all that we created. That's called active sound design. So you can create your own sound profiles to enhance your experience, driving experience. So we have actually a certain hardware and software, like NVIDIA simulator presents to into sound design process, which can actually cut the development process dramatically. Like, you don't have to make a real prototype to develop that sound profiles. We have tools for that. So the actual simulation results are so expressive, which can make you a reliable assumptions for the customer's driving experience and acceptance. So we have tools for that. So we have tools, we have software, we have very creditable engineers who are engineers engineering skills plus the music skills. So that's where
Wow.
Acoustics, yeah,
That was an unusual input. That
yeah,
I didn't know that
very
they were
rare
experts
skills.
in music as well. So that's a very interesting aspect. So typically, how do these presentations come about? Do you create the sound and then you interact with the people who are involved and then get their sign off and then look at integrating it into the overall manufacture of the car? What is the broad process?
We do request from the manufacturers, not only car manufacturers. We also get requests from the music. They'll come with some idea how the sound they wanted to have it. They'll give some background. They'll give some profiles. That's rough profiles how they wanted it to be, and they'll give their requirement. And based on that, our engineers work on different profiles, and they'll share with them, and they can say that the tone, the different parameters. I mean, I can't really explain you here now, but
Yeah.
they'll ask for different parameters, how it has to be and where it has to be high or low. So that depending on that, our engineers design. But by and large, whatever our designer engineers give the profiles, most of the times it is accepted by the OEMs.
Wonderful. Because the challenge is really how do you make memorable sounds and you don't have much time. So, for example, Netflix, when it comes in, the Netflix logo is relieved and then the tadam, or Bullet, which has that deep throated thing that gets into people. I don't know if it's one thing to get a song that plays for about 2, 3 minutes and then becomes popular because it has a thumping beat, it has various kinds. But here, very often, it's just a single sound, or it's a combination of sounds,
It's a
which
combination.
give off a certain feeling. And I guess that is the real challenge. and not just the execution, because the execution comes later. And then how do you manage to do that? Because every single material in the car has to be sort of designed, and so you're saying it's leather, and then there's something else which comes in, and the dashboards are a certain, so the reflective or the ability to absorb sounds, all of these I'm sure are part of. It's almost like building a theater in a very, very small environment. You
Absolutely.
still have to. But what I've loved is that in a car, listening to music is always a wonderful experience, especially now. Earlier, it used to be that a car, once you moved the windows down, it was very hard to listen. But now, with the windows up and the sound systems which have improved, I think it's amazing how good the car is as a means of enjoyment of music. And I'm sure that the acoustics that you work on are part of that entire field, because the moment you integrate something, there would be a so it's something which people who are very passionate about music and sound, this is a great career for them, because and it's a
Sure.
great challenge as well, because it's not easy to do what you do. It's one thing to create a tune that is popular in a film, but what you're doing is essentially having shades of emotion being depicted with a single sound. Am I summing
True.
things up, or
Yes,
okay?
correct. See, not only this, and Head Acoustics has a different division, which is telephony and speech quality. So,
Okay,
in cars, infotainment systems requires to be certified by Apple or Android. So we do have specific tools for car certification. Head Acoustics has two divisions. One is for NVH, which is noise, vibration, harshness, which is also internally we called SVP, sound, voice, and perception. So how do you perceive sound? The other division is telephony. And, in this division, we cater to infotainment, CarPlay certification, and Android certification, and also um, background noise cancellation. For example, in car, if driver is giving instruction, then the noise which the background people are talking needs to be
right.
eliminated. So we do have several tools which are there are some compliances. All these carbon or the infotainment system manufacturer needs to follow this. These are called ITUT certification, and we are the only one in the world to certify that. So
Oh,
that's one of
fabulous.
the other products we have.
So, what happens to products which, let's say, sounds which don't have an electronic footprint? Or earlier, the thing was that you hardly had any electronics in the car. So, things like how does the I don't know, steering feel like, or shutting the door, the way the clamps shut, in the sense when you press that button, that the door lever is just shutting. That is not electronic, or is it? Or is that also part of the electronics?
No, it is also part of the electronics, but what we
Okay.
do is we identify, okay, that is two subjects. One is to identify where the noise is coming from, that is one part of it,
Okay.
and one is creating the acoustic effect. So
Right.
one division we have NVH, which we have the tools to identify where the noise is coming from, but optimization or whoever is that the tier one manufacturers or that part manufacturer needs to take care of that. We only identify where the noise is coming from, and
Okay.
probably we can suggest how this can be optimized, but the actual action needs to be taken by the
Question.
manufacturer.
Okay.
So it's something like
It's very interesting that one of the most famous ads for the Rolls Royce, the earliest ads which came in the 60s, was the loudest noise in the car came from the ticking of the electric clock. And at that point, one of the most premium things was to have a silent car, because all of the external sounds you had to kind of dim. And I think there's another very famous ad where there's a squeak which is heard, and then the person finally realizes it's the girl's earring which needs to be oiled.
And and I know it's still. I think it's recently was reposted by someone in LinkedIn also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sound has this amazing quality of both distracting and getting your attention. So, how important is emotion versus engineering? In the sense that certain sounds in the car are meant to make you feel, it's like perfume, or it's like putting something in the car which will make you feel good about it, or the way that the bass notes swell, when the sound. So, is there a case where emotion has to be integrated into sound design as well?
Yes, I can say that. Maybe you can say. I mean, I may not be able to mention that in India what has happened, but in Europe, you see, one of the musicians' song was integrated with one of the cars. Uh, you know, uh,
Okay.
Active sound design. So it is something like musical emotion into the manufacturers in the car manufacturers. So it is that can be integrated. Yeah.
Okay. Fascinating, Manjula. I think it's very interesting as to what is possible in today's world, because with the change from the internal combustion engine to EVs, one of the biggest sources of noise and dampening that had to be done is no longer required. But then you have to compensate for that, because suddenly I remember a couple of people who bought EVs recently telling me that this is so silent that people don't are not aware, so it suddenly becomes dangerous for people on the road.
You asked the
Compensate for
right question. Yeah. For this, there is a legal requirement to develop an AVAS, which is called Acoustics Vehicle Alerting System. So
Right.
that is also offering from Head Acoustics, and this is a legal requirement for all the EV manufacturers. So it gives an alarming, acoustic alarming.
Yeah.
Yes,
So pedestrians and other users of
any
the road are
objects.
aware. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
This is called the
So
acoustics vehicle alarming system. Yeah.
wonderful. So, in conclusion, is there anything that you would like to tell people who are interested in looking at a career here? We'll have to keep it short. I have just about a minute left. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. In career for the youngsters, I say take every opportunity and instead of thinking whether a right decision or a wrong decision, but whatever the decision you have taken, make it right with a commitment and bravery or your skill set, whatever it is. Take the decision and make it right. Everything fall in
Wonderful.
place at the end.
Thank you very much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for all the information you provided, as well as the opportunities for people to pursue a career in automotive acoustics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nar. Thank you.
Thank you.